make the strings
louder. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Never Went Pro. I'm your host, Robbie Robinson. Joining me today, live from Union, New Jersey, Unchained Python.
What's up, what's up?
Also joining us from Houston, Texas, Juice, a.k.a. the Ghetto Gourmet.
What's good, everybody?
Okay, with the NFL season coming to an end, we decided to start a weekly segment where we will talk team needs division by division. We'll discuss where we think they should go through free agency, through the draft. This week we'll begin with the AFC East, with the Jets finishing in last place with a 5-11 record. Let's start there. So Python, I'll start with you. What do you think the Jets can do to improve?
I mean, I don't want to bash this team and all the Jets fans because that's a lot they need to do, to be honest. You know, let's see. First off, let's go with the offensive line. That's main key right there is the offensive line. You need something to protect the quarterback. I think the draft, they need to get a couple guys, protect that quarterback, That's one of the top ones I would think of is the offensive line that they need.
There are a lot of needs.
Yeah,
there are a lot of needs.
Especially at the guard position on the line.
I think Fitzpatrick got sacked so many times, and it says 19 in the stats, but I think it's way more than that. I think he gets sacked like 3-4 times.
Doesn't tell
a
you
game.
how many times he got hit, right? It just shows the sacks.
Man, it just shows sacks, but when he gets hits, he gets hit a lot. And I feel like they're not doing a good job protecting him. So, that's a really good issue. They need somebody from cornerbacks. I mean, I don't think they do enough defense. Their defense is a little shaky. If anything, they're not too good at all, And the linebackers for rushing in on, against opposite teams. So,
yeah. Speaking of cornerbacks, Quincy Wilson for Florida. I don't know if you guys seen him, but he looks pretty good. He's a big corner, about 6'1". I'm always in favor of the taller corners. Give me a big corner over a speedy corner any day. I want to be physical, man to man, be physical. But when it comes to the Jets, I mean, they have, like you said, they have so many needs. It's really hard to pinpoint a position. I like where you went with the offensive line because if you want to start a team, you need to be able to protect and you need to be able to rush the passer. Defensive line, offensive line. But with that said, and the current situation with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Geno Smith and God knows whoever the other guy is, Petty, whatever.
Bryce Petty. Bryce
Right,
Petty is the
right.
guy.
I would say, they couldn't go wrong looking at a quarterback
Christian
either.
Hackenberg.
They couldn't go wrong looking at a quarterback. And let's see here.
Yeah.
They what did they pick? 6th in the draft. 6th in the draft. You might have Deshaun Watson up there at that time. They got him graded as a 3rd rounder. And the way I look at things in terms of the draft, if you're a GM and you pass up on guys like Deshaun Watson who are proven in college, and then they end up being good and you decided to just pass up on them because you didn't think they would transition well, I feel like you look like an idiot. But I feel like if you take the proven guy and he doesn't pan out, it's just like, it's on the guy, not as much on the GM. That's just how I look at it.
You can look at that with guys passing up on a Dak Prescott, not picking him up, and now wishing that they would have grabbed him earlier. Or if it's, it don't even have to be that many rounds dropped. I mean, you can look at a guy like Aaron Rodgers who fell, still 1st round, but fell to the bottom of the 1st round. So, I agree
Tom
with
Brady?
you or whatever. Or Russell Wilson for that matter.
Wilson.
Russell Wilson's another guy. Like, you should just go with the guy that you think is just the best player, regardless of where he's decided that the experts or whatever say he's projected to be or whatever. because so many times we hear about players draft. Oh, this guy has a first round, or he's a guaranteed top 5 pick, and you look and it's just, i.e., a Jamarcus Russell situation or whatever,
Like I think in this year's
That's
draft,
something.
they have Mitch Trubisky and Deshaun Kaiser graded higher than Deshaun Watson. And don't get me wrong, those guys had good seasons, but Deshaun Watson's proven year after year now in the S. And actually, they're in the ACC, but they played against Alabama twice, against higher level
Hmm.
competition. Um, Again, and if he doesn't pan out, that's just on Deshaun Watson.
Right, right. But like I said, I agree with you wholeheartedly right there that you should just turn the film on and just watch the guy perform.
Right.
Sometimes I think these guys in these positions overthink the situation. I mean, but hey, they spent years doing this, and I'm just some guy that played a little sports growing up
That
or
never went
whatever.
pro,
But
right? That never went
and
pro.
then exactly never went pro.
Yeah.
But yeah, but something else I think, well, that the Jets need or whatever, is to shore up the defense, and especially secondary, and more
Hmm.
importantly, the cornerback position. I
Yeah.
mean, we all know Darrell Revis is older or whatever, and there was a point in time where it was just, you just don't go his way. Everybody knew that you don't go at Darrell Revis in a
Right.
game. But I mean, watching him this past year, like it's like watching Kobe in his final few years or whatever. The guys just don't have it no more. I'm not saying that Revis is out, maybe due to the not with injuries or whatever, but I don't think he still has the ability
That
to
it
play
factor
corner
too.
no more. Yeah,
Yeah.
that it factor. He
Actually,
needs
that's
to
a good that's
be
a good point you brought up
probably
there.
moved to safety.
That's a good. I was just gonna say they could probably get away with moving him to safety and drafting a cornerback. I don't know if he's willing to
Yeah,
do that,
yeah,
but that would be a good idea actually.
He should do that.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
for the team. It's no I in team. So
Yeah, but
I do
sometimes
believe that.
guys are a little hesitant to change their position after they made their name doing it for years. But he probably could make a bigger impact playing safety.
Well, he probably needs to go because, yeah, well, Revis Island, everybody was taking vacations
It's
there,
a
and I
vacation
mean,
island
they was
now,
taking.
right?
It's a vacation spot. I mean, I've seen people bringing their children with them, and going swimming on the beach and everything. I mean, this guy just got torched on an island that was named after him. So I mean, that's a very big need or whatever. At least I feel in linebacker. I mean, outside of David Harris, I mean, can either one of y'all really just
I don't even
name
know. I
a
can't
New York Jet?
without googling. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you any of their linebacker names. I had to look it up today, and I still can't remember
And
without notes.
that's never a good thing when you can't come off the top of your head and at least name a couple of players at that position. And running back, believe it or not. I mean, with Matt Forte getting older, I mean, unless he comes up and find, I don't know, the fountain of youth or something, or and Bilal Powell is on. He's shown to be a pretty good third down
he's all
back,
right,
but
Yeah,
Bao.
he,
yeah,
Yeah,
he's okay. He's okay. If you
But I
have
think a
somebody
lot of it's
to
because
split carries with him.
or
yeah,
it's like again the offensive line. They're not doing a good. They're not blocking as good too. To just for them to rush in there a lot of the time. I mean, no, Matt Forte is pretty good, but he is getting on. You're right. You know.
yeah.
All right.
Well, and last thing I'll say on that too. Well, I know we was mentioning the quarterbacks earlier or whatever, but if you can find that guy or whatever, that franchise quarterback, it'll make a lot of this list look a lot worse
Oh, of course.
in your
Hmm.
team needs. The
But
reason you can have a weakened Green Bay team make it all the
Yeah.
way to a conference championship game because of Aaron Rodgers. You can have Tom Brady pretty much taking ex AFC East players and turning them into stars or whatever.
So,
Hogan.
And yeah, Chris Hogan. You can turn
right?
them into stars.
He's like Conor McGregor, right? I'll make you famous. I'll make you rich. Look at this guy. I change your bum life. Like for real. Like come on, man. That's
All
just
right,
crazy.
all right. That's
But
the Jets.
wait, one more thing though.
Go ahead.
But I wouldn't waste my time picking a draft quarterback right off the bat since the offensive line is not good. So you might as well, they'll get hurt too fast, and then that brings a lot of discomfort towards the quarterback, and he loses confidence. Another thing they could use too maybe is another wide receiver. To get help out Brandon Marshall. For that
They
team
could,
for the Jets.
but they need someone to throw him the ball
Get
too.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick got more interceptions than touchdowns too, statistically speaking.
All right, we
So
could talk all
it's
day about the
just
Jets team needs, but we'll say offensive line, quarterback, DB top needs probably, but they just have so many needs.
that's the
We could
top.
do a whole show on the Jets.
I'm sorry. I don't want to. I tried to not bash you Jets fans. Sorry.
All right, we'll move on to the Bills. They're drafting 10th. They finished with a 7-9 record, and I think actually their top offseason priority should actually be to bring back Tyrod Taylor and Stephon Gilmore. They need to shore up their contracts. They're potential free agents this year. And I know everybody is a little hesitant about the Tyrod Taylor signing, but as we all know, there's only a handful of guys that you can really rely on at that quarterback position in the entire league. You got about 5 to 8 guys who are consistent every year, and the rest, they're all just average guys. He's not horrible, he's not great, but I think if you put a good team around him, give him some weapons, they can actually.
He needs more wide receivers. He needs
Right.
receivers.
Some weapons. And that's where I was going to go with that, actually. I would draft a receiver. They could go defense, too, don't get me wrong, because they had a lot of holes there. But I'm going to start with receiver for now. And Sammy Watkins, who, to me, has just been a disappointment. Last year, he played in 8 total games. The year before, 13. He's trending downwards. They have a bunch of second and third receivers in my mind. They have Watson, Marquise Goodwin. I mean, good, but you don't want that guy to be your number 2. If he's in your slot, okay, but not your number 2 receiver. And actually, because Sammy Watkins is hurt so often, he's usually your number 1. Drafting 10th, they'll probably still have the ability to have a shot at Mike Williams from Clemson, who is a big target, 6'3", 225 pounds, had 98 catches last year with 11 touchdowns after actually coming back from a fracture in his neck from the previous season, which is interesting. Or
He's a tough guy.
Or a Corey Davis, who played for Western Michigan. He's also 6'3", had 1,500 yards last year and 19 touchdowns. I'm always a fan of big receivers. Julio Jones, that frame. Those guys
That
can get
breaks
up,
tackles, yeah.
get up in the end zone, catch that fade route for you. So that's kind of where I'm looking. What do you see, Juice, from the Bills?
I think when I watched the Buffalo Bills this past season, and I know he's no longer the coach there, but I was a little disappointed in the defense, considering that you have a defensive guru in Rex Ryan as your head coach. I mean, he's shown to be a guy to, just always find a way to come up and just pull a miracle. I mean, on the defense or whatever. He may not be the greatest.
They definitely took a step backwards in defense for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and I know it didn't help, having guys like Reggie Ragland being out for the season, and the injuries and things of that nature, like really, really held that team back. But I'm gonna have to go with with needing to strengthen up that defense. And just like most of I say 3 or 4 teams that we probably gonna be discussing today in this AFC East, you need you need a quarterback. And I'm not this not a knock against Tyrod Taylor because I think he's shown to be able to perform when I guess when the team believed in him or whatever. I mean, I think it was a
I
little
don't think they
dirty
do
to
anymore.
kind of sit in my, but I don't think the team has a lot of faith in the guy. But I've watched him torture a few teams or whatever just with the threat that he presents, being able to be mobile
He's mobile.
and also put the ball in the air. You know, if you think that he can't put it downfield or whatever, you know, he's shown to burn you. So I'm gonna say the Bills strengthen your defense, get you some weapons for Tyrod, like y'all mentioned earlier,
They
and
definitely
you
could use
should be
some pass
fine.
rushers. They definitely could use some pass rushers.
Most definitely.
We were talking the other day in private, and we were trying to come up with the names of these linebackers. I grew up in Buffalo. I watched them every week, and I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head. I'm like, I don't know who these guys are. I don't know who they are. All right. Python, you got anything to add about the Bills?
I mean, I agree with Juice right there with the defense. I think the defense needs to straighten up. Offensive line maybe could do a little bit more work, protecting Tyrod. They definitely do need another wide receiver. Their running game is good. You got LaShawn McCoy, who I consider one of the best running backs of all time right now, because this dude is just crushing any team that go up against him. He's just doing them dirty. He's just running on them, step on them, jumping them. He does it all. This guy, he's a monster. So
He
I
definitely
think
had a good season.
defense, yeah. I mean, he always have a good season, no matter what team he's on. When he was in Philly, he was doing good too. So
When he got
it's just
sabotaged
he's.
by Chip Kelly there.
hmm That just think maybe a lot of the play caller too could just go out from defense, defense head coach and the defense coordinator, and maybe the offensive coordinator. Maybe they need to switch it up and get somebody new in there, somebody fresh. I don't agree with Buffalo getting rid of Rex Ryan. I mean, he only been there what, 2 years,
Yeah, I wasn't a
and
big fan of
they
that
did all
either.
right.
They
I think they did all right
It
considering.
seems like they're ready to rebuild every 2, 3 years. Just scrap the quarterback, scrap the coach. Like eventually, you gotta at least see something through. I mean, uh,
If you're gonna get rid of somebody, get rid of the GM because it's his fault most of the time
oh,
picking. You know,
I'm with
get
you.
rid of
I'm
him
with
instead.
you. He
Get rid of the GM.
somehow he convinced the owner that it's not him. They have enough talent on the team now, and it must have been Rex Ryan's fault. I
It had
can't
to be. I mean,
stand this guy. Doug Whaley's his name. He's the worst.
eh, I think he's not good. I mean, Sammy Watkins was when he got there, he did really good though in the first couple of years.
His first season,
Considering
he had 982 yards,
yeah,
six
and a lot of
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
His second
Yeah,
year, he had 1,047 yards and 9 touchdowns. He had a pretty
yeah.
slow year last year. He only played 8 games, so his yards fell down drastically, down to 430. Um,
So basically, he just needs another wide receiver to help him out. If they stick it, because a lot of the team, the coaches, they already they could anticipate who you're gonna throw it to. So if they could just stop that guy, who else do you have? And that's the main problem for
Marquise
Tyrod
Goodwin
Taylor. Like,
and
I mean,
Robert
no
Woods.
disrespect, but like, who is that? Who are they? Who
Right,
are these
right, and
guys?
I'm sure they're
No
not horrible
disrespect.
players. I'm sure they're not horrible players, but they're not top flight guys. I mean, they're not.
Nah.
They had the
I
goat
mean,
on their team last year, Chris Hogan. They had the goat, got rid of him.
there you go.
Also, ex Miami Dolphin.
True, true, and I'm glad you mentioned that because that's exactly where we're going next with this topic, the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh.
And being that Miami is Juice's favorite team, we'll let you start that off.
Oh man, well, where to start? Well, I guess we can open up with a little praise, considering that they went 10-6 on the season after starting 1-4.
Definitely
I
surprised
mean,
me. Definitely surprised me.
Yeah,
they
they did
probably
good.
have to be the biggest shock team of the season or whatever. Um, Oh man, I mean quarterback. Uh, um, let's
or
see.
or are they gonna draft another
Since
receiver to play quarterback for him?
or are we drafting another? Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
you know.
Just kidding, Dolphins
Hey,
fans.
no, yeah, but that's the truth. The way that my team looks or whatever, that might be something we do
Snowflake.
again. But I mean, since Marino has retired, man. I mean, let me just rattle off some names at quarterback that we didn't have since Dan Marino, man. Jay Fiedler, Damon Hewitt, Ray
Who?
Lucas,
Who are these guys?
Brian Greasy, AJ Feely, Sage Rosenfels,
Where's that man, Cleo
Gus
Lemon?
Farrat. Oh, he on here. Joey Harrington, Dante Culpepper, Cleo Lemon,
Whew. That's that 1 in
Trent
15
Green.
season, right? Cleo Lemon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Ouch.
it was a horrible season back there.
Whew.
John Beck, Chad Pennington, which by the way was the only time that we won.
I was
the
actually always a
division
Chad Pennington fan.
since Marino retired. We won the division with Chad Pennington, I think in 2008.
Even though he couldn't throw further than 15 yards.
He couldn't throw the ball. Well, yeah, 15 might. I was about to say 20, but 15 might actually be more fitting. I mean, I
But
remember
screen
watching
passes
games.
be effective though.
They
Most of the
do.
games, screen passes
Yeah, what
is the most
effective is what effective is it
You
gonna
know?
be when the team know you can't throw the ball downfield? I'm just gonna stack the line or whatever. But I mean, I remember watching Chad Pennington with his busted on. Now he might have made smart decisions with the ball, but he just didn't have the arm. I mean, you would see receivers streaking through the seam of the field, and Chad would look at him. And I mean, and it's just like in his head there was a little voice on his shoulder saying, "Nope, you about to blow your whole shoulder off. You trying to throw this ball down the field. It's just gonna fall off." But we didn't have Chad Pennington, Chad Henning, Tyler Thigpen, Matt Moore, and now the guy who our coach Adam Gase believes can get it done, Ryan Tannehill.
That is a ton of quarterbacks.
That's a ton of quarterbacks that have that's in started games for you. I mean,
That's nuts.
that's horrible. I mean, we one guy was able to get us to the playoffs in 2008, and we haven't won a playoff game since 2000 with and that was with Jay Fiedler at the quarterback. But at least Chad Pennington got there, and now Ryan Tannehill / Matt Moore can say that they've put us in the playoffs or whatever. But I'm also on the side of, well, what good is it to be there if you don't actually have a chance to win it all or whatever? I mean,
And now you kind of
having
have
seasons like that.
You kind of get a draft pick. Like they draft 22nd in this draft.
Yeah.
And really, they need a better pick than that. I mean, they overachieved, and that's awesome. But you really want a better pick than that.
Yes. It's gonna be it should be entertaining. I should say that much. I mean, things can be like how the Indianapolis Colts were with Andrew Luck, where they overperformed 1 year, and and everyone was like, "Oh, okay, here they are back to relevancy," and now is yeah. I mean, y'all watch, you see how bad the Colts are or whatever. But yeah,
That's not
quarterback.
even
I
Andrew
think
Luck's fault though. That's not even his fault though on that behalf. But
a quarterback is a big hole. Like, I mean, like I said earlier, a good quarterback can change the fortunes of any franchise. And right now, you only got a handful, and you've got about 30 other teams looking for the next Rodgers, Breeze, Brady, or whatever. But besides the quarterback, the biggest thing that we need is the defense. I mean, this defense is atrocious, man. I mean, we got a bunch of no-name linebackers or whatever. Outside of like Kiko Alonso, who has been injury prone, and yeah, he's been injury prone, but actually he played the whole season or whatever. Of course, he was in the playoff game. He was playing with a club on his hand, so a lot of good that did. But I mean, guys like Mike
Like got scared,
Hull,
he might whack him.
Jelani Jenkins on injured all season. Koa Misi injured. I mean, we had a guy named Neville Hewitt come in and play linebacker, and it's funny because
who names their kid Neville though? Seriously, I mean,
Is that
who
from
cursed
rugby?
that kid?
Is he from rugby, yo?
If you ever get a chance or somewhere, just watch the excitement on. I mean, he probably was excited as if one of us had been picked up off the streets, suited up, and got a tackle in the game. I remember we was getting blown out, and Neville Hewitt had got a tackle for a loss. And he got up and celebrated as if it was 4th and 1 with no time left on the clock in the Super Bowl. I mean, it was crazy to watch this guy or whatever. But I do like the guy's enthusiasm. He's still raw or whatever. I mean, he's not gonna be. I don't think he'll ever be a household name or nothing like that. But he's a guy that comes in and brings a lot of energy. The defense, we gotta be able to stop the run game. I mean, you think with guys like Cameron Wake and Ndamukong Suh on your front line, you wouldn't be giving up an average of 179 yards on the ground, and teams averaging averaging about 5 yards a carry.
You would imagine.
Against us, man. I mean, that's pathetic.
Was Mario Williams on that line too?
Well, if you want to call it that, Mario Williams was more like Mario Whining singing "I Don't Want to Know." If you're playing me, keep it. That's what it was like having Mario Williams on the team.
I haven't heard that name in years.
That's how bad it would be with this guy, man.
You know what? I would like to see them address the secondary.
Yes.
Cornerbacks, safeties. I don't know if he'll still be available at 22 because that's, again, they overachieved and kind of shot themselves in the foot. But Marlon Humphreys of Alabama, another big corner.
Okay.
I'm a fan of the physical corners. He's 6'1". He didn't have too many interceptions, but his cover skills are great. I mean, don't get me wrong, turnovers are awesome. But if you can tell me that you'll go out there and just stop a guy from catching balls all day, I'll take pass deflections all day. Give me a guy that's 6'1", 6'2" to play corner.
Well, we have a Pro Bowler at corner in Rashad Jones. I mean, he's probably one of the top strong safeties in the league. Free safety, we definitely need a free safety or whatever. But as you mentioned though, cornerback it's pretty hard. I mean, Byron Maxwell, who he had his best years with the Seattle Seahawks or whatever, and that was playing alongside guys like Richard Sherman and all them cats in the what they call them, the Legion
Cam
of Boom
Chancellor,
or whatever. Cam Chancellor. Yeah. Most guys gonna look good playing with them kind of players.
I might be able to get a few pass deflections out there with them.
Yeah, you probably would. But Byron Maxwell. I mean, we got Tony Lippett. Nothing against the guy, whatever. I mean, he worked hard, but this guy is a ex-receiver that they turned into a cornerback.
They love taking those ex-receivers and changing their position.
To say, what is up with us or whatever? When we got a quarterback who, if he was any good, he would have started quarterback in college. Instead, he was playing receiver. Now he's our go-to guy. And then we got an ex-receiver turned into a cornerback who couldn't cover a bed with a blanket right now. I mean, it's pretty disturbing.
On the bright side,
to see
Jaya J, he looked pretty good. I mean,
he's awesome.
I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, and I mean, he put up at least 200 on us. He ran all over us. I mean, that's not hard to do though.
He
But
ran about
He's an
200 against them
awesome.
the
Steelers too.
Steelers Python,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
team.
Mm.
Yeah.
We'll get to their defense soon enough.
Right, that's for another episode. That's for another.
I say about Ajayi, I think one of the biggest thing or best things that happened to his career was when we signed Arian Foster in the off season and
Hmm.
made him the starter, and that really pissed off Jay or whatever, because he was looking to come in and
Hmm.
be the go-to guy, considering we had just lost our running back over to the Houston Texas, Lamar Miller.
Lamar Miller.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean Jay Ajayi comes in, he's thinking that he's gonna be the guy or whatever, and you hand it to an agent, Arian Foster or whatever. But I think that motivation of like wanting to go out there and prove people wrong. I mean, because we had him before, he was okay or whatever. But to see him break out and be this, you know, baby Marshawn Lynch with the
Right.
ball, like
Hmm.
it's. I think that
Which is good to
motivation
see.
that to just go out there, that chip on your shoulder to prove to you that, hey, I'm just as good, if not better, than anybody else in this league. So I think that helped a lot with the development of Jay Ajayi this season, and hopefully that that shoulder injury that he kind of got towards the end of the season, even during the Pro Bowl, you seen him come out of the game
Hmm.
because of his shoulder. So I'm hoping he get in this off season, they work him out, relax him, do whatever you got to do, but make sure you come back ready to carry that rock.
All right. All right. Now, there's only one team left in the AFC East. If you're a fan of any other team in the AFC East, like I am, like Juice is, you already know we hate the New England Patriots, but we're going to talk about them anyways. What could they possibly need? I mean, what can they possibly need? They're playing in the Super Bowl this weekend. They don't have many needs. They'll either be picking 32nd or 31st, depending on how this game goes. But
Hmm.
if you could think of a need for them, Python, what could you see them shoring up?
A new banner? I don't know. Like Tom Terrific,
Sound
Edelman. Like,
terrific.
I mean, the coaching's good. They know how to pick these guys. I think Brady goes and and tells these guys, like, listen, pick this guy. I want this guy in my squad. You know, I'll make him great.
I'll change
These
your
guys
bum
don't know how to
life.
use. I'll change. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he could do that. Like he was like, yo, look, like they're not using him right. Bring him over here. We'll show him how it's done. Like Paul Hogan,
Chris
they're
Hogan.
taking
You mean Chris
advantage.
Hogan? Yeah.
Chris, you know.
You might as well have said Hulk Hogan, father.
Right? Close enough, right? He's a big ass dude too.
But I mean, they did the same with
But like,
Welker, Amendola. It's like they could take anybody's
you
scraps
know,
and just turn them around.
yeah, it's just nuts. I guess just keep building that defense more because I mean, like, cause maybe
Yeah.
they could use is actually another quarterback. Cause how many years does Brady have left? I don't think his backups are even up to his level yet, or even in his rookie
According
year.
to him, he's got tons of years left, and
Hmm.
for whatever reason, everybody wants Garoppolo, even though I don't think that's gonna work out. I see another Matt Castle situation
Matt
coming
Castle.
from
Yeah.
Garoppolo. But actually, as I was looking at some of the team needs today, preparing for the show, they don't have too many holes. But what I saw was a LeGarrette Blunt in the running back position. I mean, you could always just shore up the defense, which you can never go wrong shoring up the defense. But if you wanted another
Hmm.
playmaker, and I could actually see this guy, this guy reminds me of a Patriots player. So if you were to lose a LeGarrette Blunt, are you guys familiar with Christian McCaffrey from Stanford?
Yeah.
That guy strikes
Mr.
me as
All-Purpose.
Mr. All-Purpose. He strikes me as a Belichick player for multiple reasons.
He
Um,
white.
right.
That's just a joke, y'all. I'm just playing. I'm just
No.
playing.
He's disciplined. We're gonna just say
I'm
he's
just
disciplined.
playing.
He's disciplined.
He's
He's disciplined. He's disciplined. But he actually had over 2,000 yards in 2015. He had 16,000 yards last year and 13 touchdowns. And I could see Belichick actually using him in more roles than just a running back. Maybe even tight end. Because
Maybe a
Gronkowski,
tight end.
Gronkowski,
Yeah.
there are reports that there may be use for McCaffrey other than at running back. And with Gronkowski being hurt damn near every other week, um, I know they got Martellus Bennett
Back
there,
is
but they're usually a team that runs two tight end sets. I could see them using a guy like McCaffrey. What do you see for the
yeah.
Patriots, Juice?
Um, well, you know what? I think one of the biggest things that they have an advantage of in that helps on the field is that somehow these guys always seem to just make the right moves in the off season by trading like trading a Jimmy
Mm,
Garoppolo and coming up with a bag of draft picks for some
right.
reason, or doing the draft trading down, like I'll trade down the number 31, 32 slot and go get like 3 years worth of third and fourth round picks who gonna turn out to work out some way, or it's amazing how they're able to pull that kind of I don't even know what to
Magic,
call it. Like,
sorcery.
yeah,
Sorcery,
sorcery.
that
I don't
wizardry.
know how they are able to pull it off, and they've been fooling the rest of the league for so long.
It's like
Um,
somebody sold their soul to the devil, and then like for the Patriots just to keep getting good players and winning and winning and winning.
Like when they came
I
out and they
mean,
said they traded Jamie Collins to the Cleveland Browns for a third
yeah,
round pick, I just have to believe that was a good move because from all their past moves, it always makes sense. Like I could see him just
hmm
like this Jamie Collins just disappearing in a couple years, and then everybody's like, well, yeah, Bill Belichick's just he's a mastermind. He knew what he was
he's a
doing.
genius.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just to
yep,
just to solidify his genius status even more.
I think he just got a
yeah.
good squad. Like when it comes to the coaching, I think he has a good defensive coordinator, defensive head coach. I think he's surrounded by good people that know the game and love the game. So that's to make it easier for them to just pick apart any other team.
But the
Just
crazy
and the
thing
GM
about
too.
that
The,
though,
the GM too. I don't know
mhm,
if he's even doing work or he's just sitting there and let these guys do the work. It's just hard to say. No.
Where were you
I was
going,
gonna
Juice?
say about the well, yeah, you mentioned like his coordinators and things. It seemed like whenever those guys leave New England and he ends up facing them, he still
He
crushes
wears
them
them
out
out.
or whatever in the
Wears them
game.
out.
Like I
Romeo
I don't
Cornell,
know.
Charlie Weiss.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the Josh McDaniel stayed or whatever, but it's just I don't know how the guy continuously pulls it off or whatever. At some point the luck's got to run out. I still think that a lot of it we give Belichick a lot too, and I think it helps when you have an all time great at the quarterback too, because that will hide a lot of flaws. Is I mean you're not taking that New England Patriot team and throwing any of the other AFC East quarterbacks in there, and they going to the Super Bowl. You know what
What
I'm
do you
saying? Like
mean?
you
What do
can
you
keep
mean? We
everything
could
else.
take Briscoe and go all the way.
Nah,
Garoppolo. Everybody.
Take
no,
Fitzpatrick, man, and that shit. He probably still make it to the fucking playoffs. I don't know.
no, not now. If Fitzpatrick gonna turn the ball over, this man throwing he throwing interceptions in his sleep.
But
I,
the
I,
offensive line is
it,
good though. I mean, the offensive line is good. They protect Brady enough to even
well,
give him a lot of time to throw the ball as well.
they
So
they help shore it up, but if you remember just 2 years ago, I mean, Brady was getting wore out by teams because their offensive line was pretty terrible. I mean, when the Broncos got after Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game, I mean, it was funny. There's a side of me just because I just don't like. It's not that I don't like the New England Patriots. It's just the fans that came out of nowhere over
mm,
the years. I mean, I coming along, you wasn't hearing nobody talk about I'm a Patriots fan or whatever,
When they had that
and
ugly
that would
Patriot
be fine
logo
for, yeah.
snapping the
You
ball
hear
between his legs. Nobody was a Patriots fan then.
it was cool if if you on the younger side, but for the older cats out there talking about they New England Patriots fans, man, it's a lot of questionable action. I mean, that was a franchise that was almost on the verge of being moved or whatever because they were pretty irrelevant. But now, everybody knows the New England Patriots or whatever, and that's just it's a little suspect. That's all
I feel
I'll
like
say about it.
too for Russian teams, other Russian teams, sometimes they have opportunities to sack and hit Brady, but they don't. I feel like they just let him pass most of the time. I don't know if
If
you
you
guys
touch
see that
him,
sometimes.
you
You
might
getting
be kicked
fined.
out of the league. Yeah, you can't
Or
Dismiss
they'll
the
change a
ratings.
rule. Or they'll change a
they'll
rule to
change the
protect them.
rule. Yeah, yeah.
I feel like
We
that's
gonna
something
count
to be
three
looked at.
alligators before you can rush Tom Brady. When the ball snaps, count three alligators, then you can roll.
I feel like there's something weird about that. There's a lot of times I've seen that in a lot of games. Like they don't want him to get touched. And if he does get touched, he's always looking for the flag, even though there's no
I
flag to
mean,
be
we got
thrown.
we got the tuck rule generated by Tom
Hmm.
Brady. We got the tackle rule where you can't go below the knees on the quarterback because of Tom Brady. And I mean,
Hmm.
if it's any other quarterback, they just ignore it. But if it happens to him, you know,
Yeah,
change
it's
the rule
something.
book.
Yeah, that he needs to
Yeah.
get his fifth ring and go. Give the other teams a chance.
No, I
All
mean,
right.
but you don't want to take away the competition, though, man. Like it's I'm not the biggest Brady fan. I really wish that in all the years that he's been playing, that some other team in the division. I mean, the Jets challenged him when Rex first got there, and Chad Pennington won the division. And I didn't even mention this earlier. And I think in that season, that was a season, as you mentioned, the rule where Brady got hurt that he
Mhm.
wasn't even
Yeah,
quarterback,
Mhm.
and that was Matt Castle was the quarterback for the Patriots that season. That's so. I mean, that's been the only time that you can say that the Patriots will have
And they won 11
not
games that year.
been. Yeah,
They just didn't
that's
make
the
it.
only time they haven't been the pride of that division or whatever. And I guess this happens or whatever. When you have a dynasty or whatever. But it is. I think that's probably out of the AFC East in whole that there hasn't been a team or there's been so that many incompetent GMs and presidents of operations and everything that haven't been able to find the right pieces to put together. I mean, you Dolphins missed Drew Brees to get Dante Culpepper.
That's your boy Saban. Nick Saban did that for you.
And Nick Saban, yeah, screw you. Hey, screw you, Nick Saban. I said it on
fucked
there.
up.
I don't like Nick Saban. I cannot stand the guy. He come in here promising to be here and put in the work and make everything work out. And he didn't get some players that he like that he wanted, and he hightailed it
Bailed.
out. And now
Bailed.
everybody loves him over in Alabama. Man, forget you, Nick Saban.
But all right, all right. We're gonna wrap this segment, but because we brought up changing rules for players and things of that nature, last week the commissioner had his address where he talked about maybe loosening up the celebrations in the end zone, maybe loosen up the rules on marijuana usage actually, and I wanted to talk about NFL ratings. Now, they don't seem to believe that these rule changes that they've made over all these years have anything to do with the slide in ratings, and I think that's the main reason. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I'll throw this to you, Python. How do you feel about some of these rule changes? Um, the kickoff, the extra point, the touchback now coming to the 25, the hits. What are you thinking?
The touchback has got to be the main one. I mean, like that's like you give these guys a quarter of the field already up there, so they got only what 75 yards to get up there. That's too much. Bring it down. Don't even give them 20. Bust it back down to like 15. Make these guys work for it. You know what I'm saying? If they're really that good, some of these guys could do it, just like, Aaron Rodgers and them, but Dak Prescott and all those guys, they could definitely do it. So just bring it down more. That's too much. I think the pass interference too. I don't think say like a wide receiver is running like 50 yards up and then he get pass interference. They throw the ball, he drop it because of pass interference. They should not be allowed to be going all the way up the field
Right.
just because of that
As
pass
as
interference. I
to
think
where
they should just get.
in college they get a 15-yard penalty and it's just
That's
automatic
fine.
first down.
15. I guess that's reasonable instead of 40, 50 yards. I mean, come on. That's
Hey,
that's
all I
I
know is
ridiculous.
noticed.
about that rule. If I'm playing cornerback in the league today and the rule is just a 15-yard penalty, if I'm getting beat deep and I know that this guy's gonna score or whatever, I'm tripping him.
Trip.
I'm just gonna take the
You
Hey,
15
pulling the
chipping them?
Grayson
take
Allen on him.
take yeah. I'm a Grayson Allen the guy. Like I'm just gonna trip you. Take the 15. Whatever little chewing out that you gonna do. But I'd rather give up 15 yards than get a team hasn't moved the ball. It's now third and forever, and they hurl the ball 50, 60 yards down the field and get a pass interference call or whatever. So I mean,
But you,
even although y'all, I hear y'all say that you rather have the 15 or whatever, and think that the penalty if the spot foul is a bailout. I'd still rather have the spot foul offense when it comes to pass interference or whatever.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
I hear you.
you could still do it like if the same player keeps trying to do it and he got like three foul like in basketball, you get five fouls, you're
Eject
out.
him.
Yeah, you could do the same thing.
Well, I'll subtly trip you like Grayson Allen.
Still trying to trip somebody. Like what the fuck?
But to stay on topic though, because that's a rule that it hasn't been changed. But to stay on topic, Juice, what
Uh-huh.
what do you think about And it's not so much that I dislike the rule changes. It's the amount of rule changes that they've had in succession. Like within 2 3 years time, you change like 10 rules. I mean, you got these extra points, and I know some people feel it adds a little suspense to the game because now an extra point's like 35 yard kick. But I
Hmm.
hate seeing kickers walk up there and miss extra points. It just annoys the hell out of me. It just
That's
burns
what you
my
paid to
soul.
do is make it. You
It just
paid to make
burns my
these kicks.
soul. The guy gets up there and misses a chip shot, and then the game has these weird, wacky scores. Now it might not bother me so much if they would have introduced the rule separate from all these changes to the big hits where you can't hit a guy. And I'm okay. I understand the concern with the concussions, but in a lot of these situations, a guy coming across the middle puts his head down after he catches the ball. A defender hits him helmet to helmet, and it's his fault. Now he has a penalty because the offensive player lowered his helmet. I mean,
Right.
all
A
these
lot of
rule
times it's an
changes,
accident. A lot of the
a lot
time
of
it's an accident too.
a lot of
You
times,
know.
and
Yeah.
I just it just has really made me not interested. Not not to say that I'm not interested, but even like the overtime rule changes. Like back in my day, you got the ball, you scored a field goal, you won. But now
See, I
though,
don't like that.
but now, guess what? You scored a field goal. We'll give the other team the ball and see if they can score. But if you scored a touchdown, then the other team doesn't get the ball at all. I mean, there's just too much of that. Maybe this or
Let
maybe that.
they should have it where the clock goes down. Don't put 15 minutes. Put like let's say 8 minutes into the
I'd be
time.
cool with the
Just
college overtime rules.
Yeah.
Both
I
teams
was
get the ball. What were you saying, Juice?
I was no, it's just what you was just saying. I wouldn't mind going to the college rule instead of placing the ball so close to the end zone within field goal range with the professional kickers. I say just put the ball at the 50, give each team a chance to score or whatever. And if both teams score, just keep
keep it going.
going or whatever. But yeah, I'd rather see that than I guess watching a team, with the old rule, it was pretty much you if you won a coin toss, if the game got in overtime anyways, it wasn't going to be too many times that games end in ties. It was going to end in a field goal most likely. So I mean, most of the time, team wins a coin toss is going to get close enough to kick a field goal unless the kicker chokes and the other team, has a shortened field to
or unless the defense goes
go
out there and
down.
does their job, man.
Yeah, but
Get a three and
that
out.
is true. That is true, but you just play, 4 15-minute quarters
True,
or
true.
whatever. So like you can be pretty warm. I mean, most defenses get warm by the fourth quarter anyways. But yeah, as you was talking though with the NFL ratings drop and it being the rule changes might be a part of it. Well, I mean, I looked up and they said that the Monday Night Football ratings are down by about 24%. Saturday night games down by 19, and Thursday night down by about 18%. And I think I'm gonna go a little outside the box or whatever as to a possible reason for the decline in the ratings is fantasy football. And when I mean by that with the fantasy football, most fantasy football players that I know don't really care about whether or not if they team winning or not. They just want to know did Aaron Rodgers throw for 4 touchdowns today?
And who did he throw it to?
Who did he throw it to?
He better have thrown it to
Yeah,
my
yeah.
guy.
Throw it to my guy.
I don't care if my it's like I don't care if my team won. I just need to know
True.
did this guy that was only on 2% of the rosters, have a big day? Or
Right,
whatever.
true.
That's my concern.
I'm
not
hoping
what-
Rabisky, the fullback for the Packers, scores 3 touchdowns today.
Yeah.
Because I need him. But at the
Yeah,
same
nah,
time,
I
though,
mean,
you know me, I'm addicted to fantasy sports. FanDuel, they're
Right.
just taking my money left and right. But that actually gets me interested in all the games, though. So now I'm at least checking them all out. I feel when it comes to Monday night and Sunday night, they need to have a way to adjust their primetime games. I mean, who the hell wants to
Yeah.
tune in to watch the Bears play the Cardinals? Or I mean, it has to be a relevant game. As to where like in the NBA, they're a little more they can fluctuate a little bit more and actually schedule the good teams to be on TV. It is a little hard to do that with football. I
For
understand you
Golden-
got your schedule that comes out, in the beginning of the season, and it is what it is. But if you're halfway through the season and the teams playing on Monday night are both, completely out of the playoff picture, why would I tune in? Why?
That does make sense, or whatever, because a lot of the time, especially here lately, you will have like the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Cleveland Browns in London at 6 in the
London.
morning or something like that. Like,
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna tune in and watch that.
Sport, at least if you're trying to grow the sport, I would at least send my better teams overseas to showcase or whatever. Not like send some of the Miami Dolphins. We might even need to get a second home in London. We stay playing over there.
Yeah,
Now, that
every
might
year
be
you guys
due-
are over there.
I think
that
Detroit.
might be due
Detroit
to us
goes
being
there
close
too.
to it.
Detroit be going
I'm
out
not
there.
sure if they.
I feel like I
yeah.
see Jacksonville and Miami there all the time. Those two teams seem to always be there.
But yeah,
You know what they need to get rid of? The ties. There should be no ties in football. Get rid of them. They gotta be a winner. I don't know if you
Well,
guys.
it don't happen that often though, ties in a game. I mean, I can't. I didn't even even thought to even look this up. But I mean, when's the last time a team had like 2 ties on a schedule? In their record.
I think Washington had
think-
one this year. I can't even remember who
And
they
I
played against.
think the Panthers too. I think they had a tie.
Yeah, but
But
has a team
not
ever had
common.
like 2 tied twice?
Not-
like if one
not that
team
I'm
ever
aware
tied
of.
twice in the season? You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
just
it's-
get it. Somebody got to win. Take that shit out. How are you gonna have a tie?
You got a
That shit
half
just
a
ruined-
win and a half a loss. That's what you
Half a
earned.
win. Half a win. What does that do for the schedule? Like when you're trying to compete for the division to get to the
Well,
playoffs.
I guess you had 4 15-minute quarters to decide to play better. Actually a fifth 15
And 2
minute quarter
overtimes?
in overtime.
and then
it
two
goes
2
one.
overtimes.
You only get one overtime or whatever.
Hmm.
When something else that's probably been a decline in the ratings or whatever. the entertainment
Tickets.
factor, man. The
Yes, I'm glad you brought
entertainment
that up.
factor. I mean, taking away these players like personalities, man. I mean, when you mention NFL entertainment, showcase, must see TV type of stuff, you always got to remember Terrell Owens and
T.O.
Chad
with the
Johnson.
pom poms. Oh, I couldn't
I
wait to
mean,
tune in. I couldn't
Right? You
wait
got
to
cheerleaders.
tune
yes,
in.
You got the cheerleaders. Put them to work, man. What the
you
fuck?
had to watch. I mean, T.O. with the Sharpie autographing the ball,
Even
or
Joey Horn with the
the
cell phone, or
yeah.
T.O. standing on the Dallas
On the
Star.
Dallas Star. Emmitt Smith came right
Yeah.
back at him and slammed the ball, and T.O. scored again and
And then
Even
somebody
slammed the ball down.
sacked them.
It was George T. George T. came and blindsided him or whatever, or or
even my man Steve Smith used to put on some good celebrations there for a while.
yeah.
He had the rowboat
I
one.
mean,
The penalties when a receiver scores a touchdown and they do a little dance and then they get a penalty for it. Take that out. Let them show off. That's what
I
football's
would
about. Like,
I would
yeah,
literally tune in just to see what T.O. had up his sleeve, or Chad Johnson, like
yes.
we were saying. And that's
That
I
what
think I
boy
saw
Roger
T.O.
Goodell had brought up. Roger
What
Goodell had
was it?
brought that up
T.O.
last
He
week.
scored a touchdown and he ate popcorn off a fan.
Oh
He
yeah,
jumped
yeah,
over
yeah.
the
Oh, my boy Ocho Cinco with the Hall of
That
Fame
Hall of
20
Fame
question mark jacket. Yeah. I mean, they fined this man for having a sign on the sideline that said, "Dear NFL, please don't find me
Don't
again."
find me. Right.
I mean, he was a show. I think
The whole no
who
fun
was
league
it?
thing has to end though.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
you don't want it to get out of hand or to be disrespectful. But what's wrong with a guy grabbing the pom poms and shaking them for a second? Really?
I mean, I'm just here. I'm there for the entertainment or whatever. That's also a reason why I was a big fan of the Miami Hurricanes or whatever growing up. Like, I'm for a team talking noise and acting out, putting on a show, letting you know, as long as you backing it up or whatever. It's
Hmm.
different if you out there showboating, getting excited like Neville Neville Hewitt
Neville.
was after
That
getting
that
blown
poor
out
man.
and scoring a touchdown. But yeah, you need to let players have a
Express
personality. I
themselves.
mean,
Express
yeah,
themselves.
you got to. That's why the NBA is fun or whatever. I mean, you can still dunk on a dude in the NBA and
And
give him an
celebrate.
extra little stare down or whatever,
Hmm.
or you can
Not too much.
celebrate.
If it's too much,
Yeah,
they'll hit you with a tech, but you can do a little.
and I'm
The
fine with
no
that. But
no no. The no no no.
I mean, Curry will hit a
I'm
three
like,
and hit you with the shimmy like it's nothing.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing, and that's all perfectly fine. Like it remind me of most of the people that used to complain about all the extra showboating and celebrate. These guys wasn't that talented. I mean,
Right.
I was almost like you was upset that you couldn't do what these
What
guys
they were
did,
doing.
and they made you feel even worse about it because they gonna dance on you for doing for
Like when
showing up
everybody
on you or
complained
whatever.
about, or they didn't complain, but they talked about how Cam would dab on him all the time when he get the first
Hey,
down, and well, don't
dab
let him
away.
score, don't let him get the
Don't
first down.
play defense. It
Right.
ain't like
Oh, and
he doing it and there's nobody out there to defend him. I agree with you 100%. You don't want someone showing you up, showing out on you. Play defense. That's exactly what
dunking
that's
on the
about.
field goals. Remember that when they used to dunk on the field goal?
Tony
Yeah,
Gonzalez was famous for that one.
Bring
they
it back.
you definitely gotta get out and let the players, man, show their personality. I mean,
A little bit. I
baseball is
mean,
suffering from that. Like
yes, they are.
they every do these unwritten rules. You hit a home run, they don't want a guy flipping his bat.
You can't even flip the
Or
bat. Like
hey,
what?
I'm letting you know right now. If I was in the league, and I'm crushing a walk off in the ninth home run or whatever to win the game or win the playoffs or something like that. I mean, I might throw the bat into the stands
Right.
I done flipped it
Right.
so hard.
And I might be doing the moonwalk from second to third to home.
A front flip on home plate. What you gonna do? You can't take that home run back.
it'll be the most coordinated thing you've never seen. I mean, I'll hit the Bobby Brown every little step dance from first all the way in. I mean,
it's my prerogative
all the way through, all the way through there. I mean, celebrate. That is entertainment. Even if you hate it, you still tuning in to watch it just to hate it.
I mean, what they had before, when you hit a walk-off home run, you used to get the shaving cream for baseball.
Yeah, they put
they do things like that. But that ain't, don't nobody care about, oh, you got pie in the face.
That's after the game. And if you ain't watching the interview, nobody sees it.
Don't nobody want to watch that. The pitchers don't like to get if I'm striking somebody out, I'm going crazy. Like
right.
you don't want me doing that.
Like if you flip the bat on the pitcher, now he wants to hit you with the ball the next time you come up. Wait, what?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, yeah, this is baseball. Wait, no, bro, no, we're fighting.
Yeah,
you gotta dodge, bro.
Yeah, you don't do that. Like you just throw better pitches next time. You don't get mad or whatever. Like I mean, and that seemed more sporting to throw the ball at the guy than it is to just suck it up and just do better.
That is crazy.
But the point back to the point though, if you don't let players have personalities and give people a reason to tune in and enjoy the game, I mean, it's just been.
It's just like you've been there, done that. It's been there, done that. Every time I tune in, and if you're not seeing amazing like play from the players, it's definitely nothing to watch. You know, if I'm watching that Cardinals Chicago Bears game and no one's dancing, I'm not watching. I'm not watching.
I agree with you on that one.
All right. But in terms of the rule changes and how quickly they've been changing these rules, I might not be in favor of them personally. Like every time overtime starts, the announcer has to give a spiel for like 15 minutes about how the rules work. Like, if you got to talk to me for 5 to 10 minutes about what is going to happen, it's probably not a good idea. What you're doing is probably not working. If you got to tell the whole world, hey, if this team gets the ball first and they kick the field goal, the game's not over. But if they score a touchdown, the game's over. If they kick the field goal, the other team's going to get the ball. And then if they kick a field goal, we're going to continue. But if they score a touchdown, the game's over. Like, there's just too many what ifs and like I don't even know anymore if the team won anymore. You know, I gotta ask everybody, hey, did they get the ball first or did they get it second? If you didn't tune in for the coin flip, you have no idea who won the overtime. You have no idea. Which brings me to one last point that is totally irrelevant, but I just have to bring it up because we talked about this in private between the three of us once. They're determining who gets the ball on a coin flip. I mean, it's 2017. We're flipping coins. Yeah. Can we come up with something better? Can we come up with something better?
NBA has a jump ball. Yeah,
a field goal kickoff. A field goal kickoff.
The home team takes the field first.
I would even rather have that.
Why not just do that?
I would rather have that.
Whoever's visiting, you get ball first. And
I'm cool with that. The home team gets the ball.
Yeah,
because
a lot of the time, you're like you missed the first the coin flip, and you're like, oh, who got the ball first? Who's getting the ball at halftime? You don't know.
I don't know because I missed the 5 minutes before the game. I missed, so I have no idea who's getting the ball at halftime. That's ridiculous. Like in baseball, you know who's pitching first based on who's at home. The away team's batting first. End of discussion. Mm-hmm. End of discussion. Yeah. The home team should be kicking off because you are defending home field. Makes sense to me. But I'm just nitpicking at this point. But I just had to bring it up.
And viewers, I hope y'all caught what Python said. this man actually suggested a field goal kickoff, like we back at the courts playing pickup ball, and we like, who get ball first? So we'll shoot for it,
Make it, take it,
or whatever.
Yeah,
so
right?
we're gonna get out here and line up and kick field
hit or
goals
miss,
or whatever.
hit or miss.
It's like you don't even know if that coin is a two-headed. If it has two heads, you don't even know that.
He wants to play hit or miss at the beginning of the football.
Yeah.
I mean, what did they do? They only kicked the ball. Might as well just get them to do something.
You remember the boys in the XFL? That's funny. I just seen an XFL documentary on ESPN, and they would literally put a ball at the 50-yard line and have them sprint to it. One player from each team. Whoever grabbed it got the ball.
It's like dodgeball. What is that? Dodgeball? Hey.
Yeah, that's too much. We were talking about rule changes, but that's a little too far, right?
We took it far, but we had to go there. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us today for Unchained Python and Juice. I'm Robbie Robinson. We'll see you next time. Please subscribe, like the page, drop a comment on something you'd like to see us touch. Thank you for joining us.